Good morning, good morning. It's about 5:23 here, day three. Trading this 200K funded account with FTMO. Quickly coming to the charts here. Let's start from the daily time frame. So last 2 days, very strong bullish candles, lots of volume, couple hundred pips. There's 400 pips on that daily. Previous daily was another 350. So we've tapped this daily resistance zone. We do have a little bit of news release coming out here. It's Wednesday, so we have some CPI, consumer price of goods and services purchased by this sheet. I'm just getting the consumers. Essentially, what I was looking at is I was actually looking at the charts in the session yesterday. As you can see, we got this pretty nasty snap back to retest the broken structure over Asian session. I was looking to trade this back up, but at the time, FTMO was about the 20 pip spread. I gave them a quick message just to let them know and see what's going on. I saw that on a couple other LPs, liquidity providers, a couple other people that have brokerages. So it was kind of a common issue there. So I'm not sure what was going on, but would love to trade um, some of this movement up. I was looking at buys down here and looking at these wick fills, but again, 20 pip spread just not feasible, kind of an untradeable condition for me. I'm not putting myself at a disadvantage of 20 pips right off the bat. So a couple of these, bottom wicks as well, kind of tough to get into. Right now, what I'm looking at is it's 5 minutes before news release here. I would love if we can hold above this 2690s, 2691s area, but ultimately above this 2686, 2687 zone as well. For continuation, that being said, we have tapped that daily resistance zone, and we don't have anything printing in our direction on the 4 hour. So, for all I know, an hour and 32 minutes, we can start to really come down here to the 2683s, etc. Before we get some accumulation. We can start to bounce from there. So, a bit of some choppiness right here with previous intercession. Resistance, above that, 30 to 50 pips above that. Again, Asian session proving to be pretty clean, steady, breaks of the lows for a couple hundred pips. And London session, same thing, some good pushes before grabbing more liquidity to extend further. Last stream's working. Let's just double check on my phone. Got 3 minutes till news. Day three, actually yesterday. On day two, stayed super patient. No trades. Called some of these buys here. Ended up taking a nap there. I was actually pretty gassed after. Left at about 7, but then you did have in my recording, when you're saying I'm looking for candles to start printing like that around this zone 2687. That's exactly what we got. We got this kind of candle to print saying, hey, we're done going down. We might be starting to print bullish. That's exactly what we got, a new extension. I wasn't expecting this crazy snap all the way up, breaking these highs after this big push. I thought maybe we'd reject here, start to form this new range before the next session came into play, but indeed we did continue all the way up to 2704. So gold moved quite a bit. Are we going to get that same daily movement today to test 2715s to 17s? Where are we going to go today? So we will see. Nice dive into my zone there at 2691. I won't be trading before the data release, more than likely a handful of minutes post news release. The problems with New York again is you have these data releases at 5:30, 6 o'clock, new candle, 4 hour open and close, and then 6. That's in the so lots of things to consider in the next hour. Let's open YouTube, see how I'm looking. My chat all day. So that's how you guys are perceiving the chat. I'm still new to these OBS platforms and stuff of that nature. Um, I might have a couple monitors here to my left that I might hook up and at least use for uh, the entirety of the chat and get it off your guys' screen. Guys, two of these, I guess you essentially don't need to see this one. I do that, work, right? Let's see. YouTube's a little behind. Yeah, there we go. Let's take that off for you guys anyway. Now I can just see any chats here. So here we go, 5:30. I like my own video, of course, right? I'll support yourself. What's there? Mr. Ken, I'm doing well today, thank you. How are you doing? What time is it where you're at right now? Another day to do the business, yes sir, let's go. Do we have for news release? Right as expected, right on line with previous. When we're dealing with news releases, for the most part, anything that is within forecast, within a very small tolerance of what they've predicted or what their kind of tolerance range is, you're not going to see that crazy of volatility. That being said, these news releases do produce a lot of volume. But what I'm trying to say is, if it's expected, it's priced in. If it is a complete shock, a complete surprise, an upset on the numbers, you're expecting 150,000 jobless claims and you get 700,000, that's going to be a big shock, right? So that's going to make waves in the market. Anything that's right on pace, right on par, as you see, we're not getting much reaction on the news releases. You got this whipsaw 30 pips. That's normal with gold. So um, we're just going to have to wait and see how these candles print here. See if we can find anything that speaks to us. Closing above here, maybe we can use this area as our intrazone support. But yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. So, it's only 30 minutes. It makes more sense that maybe support, that maybe resistance, 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 versus say minus, so that looks pretty similar. It makes more sense. Right, we look at here, right, we broke above, finally, we used it as support, makes more sense. And look what you got before, and that means before finally we have this indecisive bearish closed candle that whipped down into the 129 zone. Prior to one that, tap into it, and bottom line, no top rope, just continuation of the one very, very good. Say today, showing patience, missed out on a couple of opportunities yesterday, called them out nicely, but didn't execute. So I'm looking to discipline my setup, execute, maybe that, maybe sit that here. Still minus 24.58 now. And keep it safe there. Late into the session. Yesterday took some counter sales. One of these bars again, still stick around. Took a little CS that after. I've been known to push the 4:30 a.m. wake ups. But I didn't the other day. I was more just telling the kid inside also good. Ever since I started an IG account, and the trades pay for some time as well. Kind of close. I probably have 50 posts just showing you guys kind of some entries and the setups that I used to take on the 30 to 15 1 hour, etc. And I think that really resonated with him. That he's always been commenting and messaging me. Actually, I was in the chat um, back in the day as well, and here he is. First couple of days of the live stream. I wasn't even posting on that account, but I'm live streaming. Again, I'm just tough with social media, so I should probably get some more traction that way as well and get on it. But here he is, man. I messaged me before. Hey, where are you at? What's going on? I'm waiting for you. So I would appreciate the support. Appreciate you coming on. Hopefully we can both execute. I would imagine on your um, Almost. Well, FGMO spread's going to be decent. What is it right now? So we're just a little over 3 pips. 2, 3. Let's see, 3.5, 3.6, 3.4. So, I mean, that's something you got to account for, right? If you're trading below structure, you know, you need that healthy pip. So if price is coming there, price looks like it's really coming there, you want, you know, 3 or 4 pips below that. Like, that is, you know, 6 extra pips you got to account for, essentially. Let's see what else is on YouTube. Let's get a little trading results. Just Alpha X FX. And staff X is style. Trading an hour ago.
Speaking as an economist, gold should go down. But then we have China. Central bank started buying gold again. Then we have a Syrian war. Then we have the Ukrainian invasion. Then we have Israel versus Hezbollah. So many things to look out for.
Would this scenario be more favorable for the dollar? Buying the dollar, selling, obviously, everything against it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So Aussie dollar, US dollar, sell. For example.
Structure, trading around the daily high, daily resistance.
The volumes coming through for like some of these sells don't make sense. Like even though the
26,
bonds are going down,
so
I'm seeing some divergence there. Same with the dollar.
Either swing trading, and that's his entry, or
am I right in saying as well bonds and dollar normally?
Well, it's a short squeeze.
Yeah.
Should do the same before that. So he's got.
So the previous is 2.6.
2 positions open on gold.
Today's CPI.
5 on AUD.
Where you can
Yeah, it's us.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's up quite a lot, it looks like. Down 17 pips there, that crosses off that, so down 25, trip 100, 200, 200 some pips on AUD.
Hey guy, how you go to the chart, then you select the second asset you want to analyze. Go down, add US. In this case, I'm adding the 2-year treasury yield to DXY. Add it to the chart, and I'm going to normalize the chart by pinning it to the new left scale. And you can see that yields and dollar are almost perfect correlated. So when yields are going up, dollar is going up, and therefore the price of the bond should go down.
Yeah, it's interesting to see other people's they attack and approach the market. So let's see, Wix is trading. Let's give this guy some love. Sorry to bump you up to 70 there. 69 was looking great.
I think that's where we're headed.
This guy's good. I gotta get some music playing for you guys as well.
Remember, whenever we see gaps like this, a lot of times you'll see them on a 4-hour daily, not really a smaller time frame. When I see a gap like that, I'll usually start off. I'll usually mark the level where the next candle opens, not where the previous candle closed. Right. So when we see this, the level here for me is not this candle closure up here. It's where this next one opened. And you can also see it kind of fall in line. Damn, what's going on in the Zoom? Almost 40 people. That's crazy. You guys decide to show up. Love it. But you see how that falls in line where these wicks come to bounce off of? It's off that area. They didn't bounce off of up here.
I agree with him in the sense that
I think it's likely that we see that pattern continue here.
He's too high. Had this not made that support there at the zone to make sense, but I also took this in the area as well.
Is that impression low-key good? I don't know. I just do it because he's
One
funny.
little difference in people's approach, right? The way that they see support and resistance there.
He's just really funny, and he's funny to imitate.
Lots of highs, lots of lows, lots of accumulation, lots of support and resistance is being formed, and they don't line up perfectly, right? It's a certain price. It's a numbers game for us. So that's what we gotta take into consideration. What number we're at. Remember, is price rejecting 27 on this little platform right now? Would it be rejecting 2700s or 2705s? For all numbers psychological, yeah, that makes a little more sense. But this is just my area that makes the most sense in regards to the way that the candles formed. See what else is similar to that.
When you do that, well, you know, our parents did it for so long, and I'm kind of used to it.
Yeah, I sit there. I sit there, have conversations with people all the time. All the time. All the time.
That's support, beautiful. Resistance there at 2731.
So yeah, how long you been doing that? You know, oh, 4 years. Oh, you know.
Well, but he's on futures, so his price is looking different. Right, it's the same candlesticks, but his price is a little different. So if he was on that, looks like what, the 30? 1 hour. 1 hour. Let's still check it out. Yeah, so he does look a little different. Trade futures here. Here at 26.99, and he's looking at a price of 27.29 here. That's the futures for you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure futures, no spread. So wouldn't be dealing with this 3+ pip spread right now, which is pretty ideal. Yeah, I was yesterday trying to trade late evening, early pre-New York trade setups here. 20 pip spread. I even entered this timing, where is it? One just to confirm it. I entered it at the top. Really did put me in 20 some pips high. Crazy. So you're either getting some rejection from these highs, right? Pushed up, created support, big support, broke that, crashed all the way down. We're either unable to break these highs, which if we gather some accumulation, some candles printing in our direction, stops above, starts to target some of these lows. Or, excuse me, we're going to close bullish, with fill close above, depending on where this candle closes well. Let's say it's above here. Or maybe it's at here. Get some support on the lower time frames. And we're going to look fill. Right, 27 pip quick fill all the way to the top, 50 pips. It's definitely more than tradable. Such a typical thing here if you have these as your zones, you know. Right here was your lending session high, if you will. And from that, so lending session high, you have these closures above the 5 minute, and then you retrace most of it. You have that closure above in the 15 minute. I've just seen it so many times where, that candle's coming down. It took like 30, it's not going to close above. These lower time frames sometimes can be tricky. This right now is going to wick down and have to break previous high to continue, or it's going to snap all the way below and close under that intercession zone. But and I found an entry. The thing about these moves too is, I was saying yesterday about how the best entries for bullish buys are right next to a bearish candle. That's where you get your best risk to reward. So if you are planning on these type of moves, which is hard for me to even identify, and that's what I'm trying to do because I've never used to trade like this, but this is where you want to enter. You want to enter at support. If you miss this here, you want to be entering at the next support. But the closer you are buying next to a candle that's made support, the more unlikely it is that it's going to return back to your entry and stop you at break even, or at least force you to kind of get double tapped at entry or hold some sort of drawdown. So the closer you can enter to these types of candles, the better. If this wasn't where it was at top of zone, that would have been a great entry on the flip. There's just not a lot of room for me to go here. There's lots of rejections. Very well, reject there, basket there. So, you got to trade zones. If you got a 50 pip zone, you're only trying to catch 30 pips, 20 pips, 15 pips, whatever the case may be. These kind of 20 pip zones, 25, 30, 40 pips, that stuff, right? You get a closure that's 10 pips above the zone. You wait for that bottom market to enter and flip or break the previous high. You took that on the previous high, where you could very much reject right there. 25 pips above, less spread, you're at 20 pips if you got in right there, you know what I mean? So, if you hold the drawdown 15 pips right now, the stop should look like 40 or the previous low. Current low, sorry, just not feasible. Keep entertained a little. It's tough here being not interactive. I don't have 578 people watching. Please can you do something with the audio? What's up with the audio? I'll watch mine, see what I can hear. It's muffled most of the time you're talking. Yeah, I don't have one of those nice little mics. I'm just trying to use this little headset I have. Could be too far away. Could be too far away. Hello. Yeah, I can hear it pretty decent on my end when I'm watching my YouTube. It's definitely not going to be top quality like. Yeah, I can hear it pretty decent on my end when I'm watching my YouTube. Yeah, you can probably hear it coming back too off my flank. Yeah, I'll probably make sure it's around my face. That's what we're getting. Five minutes for this 30-minute closure.
Right, Rafi, I'm sure you've seen it in baseball, you see it in football, you see it in basketball, you see it in athletics, you see it in business, right? Where a group of individuals work together, like a group, come together for a common goal, a common dream, in a common activity like trading or like, again, basketball or whatever, and they just
We're either got to close a little bit below, or at least you can anticipate the wick-filled continuation to top the zone here and look for some entries around your 2700, 2699 type of areas. Did create that support, so as long as this can hold, we can extend a little further, anticipate the break. Again, that being said, we don't have this 4-hour closed in our direction quite yet. This is what it's all about. Extension, you got that breakout out of the zone, you get a pullback, continuation. Pullback, deep pullback, no entries here. This is your 4-hour support. Can we continue to close above here and push up to 2715? Reject. See how long this takes as well. We got this look profile right now here. 17 pips. We got the bottom up first. The flip. Pushed up 10, 15 pips, came down. And had to hit some drawdown. Finally retesting the same highs, a couple pips above, like just not. Put a little volume on what it rates. Made some traction that I cast these footed accounts. I have, a handful more viewers watching and still put up some more quality content. I'll definitely have to look into getting full setup, but like I said the other day, maybe kind of not here in regards to this current location and this current setup. It's too much longer, so just looking until I got, I'm not gonna wait till 2025. Let's start now. Let's do these challenges now. And what a journey though when you're looking at this trading and then moving forward IBC or trying to live stream handful of years that I've been looking at this, that I've been looking at gold specifically. And what a commodity, what a safe haven this pair is. Just vicious, some of the moves that it does in comparison to the other currency pairs, Forex. Yeah, etc. This hourly and 30 minutes, 15, etc. Closure. Let's to the top of the zone here. The way I would take these lies anywhere here is if we continue to push up, we come back down, create some support for that extension, or at least to at that equal high. But right now, no top wick, I need that bottom wick.
Here we go. The Chokamoke. 1 hour closed up here, huh? Right at resistance. That's not good.
No. Trading's all about anticipating that you want yourself that exact probability.
W. 4 or 5 months, yeah. That now you're starting to build up.
It's definitely what we're to do. You need that support. You need that idea that we're going to continue. And right now, this would be more of an impulsive trade here. But it's in confirmation. So we get, excuse me, a banana, maybe some protein powder. Take a look at this candle, right? 2 minutes in, no bottom wick. Where? You're going to find it, but not very frequently. Where else do you see candle with no bottom wick? There's one. And the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hourly candles. There's one. There's a small one. Majority of these candles have top and bottom wicks, right? That comes down to probability. So why do I want to take a trade with no bottom wick? The majority of candles have both top and bottom wicks. We didn't get a closure above the zone. We're tapping into this rejection area with no bottom wick. So we can assume that this will eventually come down, make one, whether we continue back up or not. It's up to the markets. That's the main reason why we also don't have any entries here. We didn't get that support on the lower time frames where we have mapped out. We have no bottom wick. Thank you. I'll be back in a few minutes here. I miss not much is going out. Alright. I'm gonna miss nothing. Here we are rejecting that 2705. Still. We're still trying to push up. Rejected 22 pips. Good for that. I was talking about coming back and making that bottom wick. That's kind of what we might do. Let's see exactly where we rejected there. Right below my line. And look at that. Right below my line. We gotta wait for a little more price action. Price action Jackson. Get my first meal of the day in here. Got an MRI in my knee. The place where my mom works actually did some rounds, got some new equipment. They're a private imaging medical center. They need some patients to test out some of their new machines. So I'm going in there as a little dummy, getting my knee scanned, which is great because I did have a knee injury, some slight tears, meniscus, ACL, earlier this year from playing ball hockey of all sports. Not even my sport. Then I'll probably gym, and I have pickleball at the gym with a bunch of the local 50-year-olds. They'll probably wax me. $6:30 in 20 minutes. There we are, finally figuring that a little more. Big supports here. It's looking like on the 5 minutes, especially if we close below. If we don't close below, we close right at it. Two split. This is why we waited, right? We knew we were top of zone. We knew there was a lot of range to trade. We didn't get a bottom wick to start. There's your 30 pip push from the flip of the candle. No bottom wick. How do you turn that? Would have been more likely to assume we were going to come back down for a bottom wick, being that we pushed up so much and we're trading at a resistance to sell in here. But again, where in the power to get that entry? Right, there's nothing yet. So, nothing yet. Sit on your hands. So it is. Sometimes you sit here on the computer for the whole session, 1 hour to 3 hours to 4 hours. Sometimes it's multiple times in 1 week. You feel like you haven't accomplished much, but you spend so much time on the computer taking no trades, and the time you do take a trade, maybe it's a loss. Right? It's a tough game we're playing. Tough game. Well, now we're strapped up. Now we're a little better. I know back in the day, so I've always been doing Whirl, and back in the day, I remember watching Don stream years ago, and he would be on Whirl. Maybe I'll incorporate that into mine since he's having a picture of it a little Whirl on it. He'd love to do Whirl. Actually, a couple people already sent me their Whirl early this morning. I do have a typical starting word. There are better ones. I like this one. kind of missed today. Nothing missed. I have to think somewhere to P. PR, it's not an option. SOAP, SOAPy, an option. No way, not a hit, second guess. Not cool. That be an option. It's not cool. It's an option. What other options are there? What other options do we have? We submit and pluck. We might be submit and pluck here. Let's do it. We need a couple of greens, baby. Flush. That's a word, right? Wow. This reminds me of trading. Quality words. Not hitting. Hmm. That's a word. Plums. Plum. Plum. Plum with two M's. Plums with a B. Oh, wow. I've not gotten Wordle in a long time. That's a tough loss on stream. That's a tough loss. I gotta get the app where it shows all my stats. That'd be great. This is a tough L here. Look at that. Look at how many greens there are. That's tough. Plum is a word? That's even real. What to even put it? Plum. Is that how you spell like a typical fruit, like a plum that you know? That's tough. I don't like that. There. Okay, so just like we were chatting about here, waiting for that bottom wick, right? You saw me draw these potential lines of support, these lines of projection. And finally getting that bottom wick. I want it right here. This is how you know. So this, the tough thing about taking this immediately on the flip is it looks like it's painting so many pictures during at the time, right? So you have this 5-minute strong candle closed below these fake resistances. It's closed at or above this potential minor support. Would have that wicked up, broke the low, boom, now we have this 30-minute or 15-minute resistance, which was totally a picture that can be painted given that we're at the rejection and we grab liquidity up here, right? So that's what I like about this is I draw my next area of support that it's supposed to bounce off this structure. We're either rejecting here, you got this 1 minute in your direction. Boom, you'd have to execute right here. Break of these highs. Your stops could go there, even there if you really wanted to go bottom of structure. And now you're already sitting up 26 pips left spread with NYSE coming around the corner. So that's how I'm trying to analyze the market a little bit more and implement my 1 minute. It just tells you so much more. The next piece of the puzzle I want to integrate is entering on the 1 minute or the 5 minute, but then zooming back out and going, okay, as long as I have an entry, like here, I would have to steer profits right away. Right, if I got my entries down, I have to see supports, see demand zones, then I zoom out. I go, okay, I'm a zone to zone trader. Here's the zone. I gotta hold out until I'm there. 116 pips, right? That's great. Very difficult to do when you're constantly stuck on this lower time frame. You may reach 3, saw this bearish pullback, like, oh my god, I gotta secure, right? We're gonna mess around this range. Here's the thing, so yes, on this provider, this Forex provider, we've broken previous 4-hour highs, which is great. And if this can close bullish in the next 40 minutes, that's great. More than likely we get a little bit of bullish continuation, depending on where it closes. That being said, we snap back with NYSE. It all makes sense, right? Still makes sense if this turns bearish. That's a difficult thing about trading these days here. In days like today, unless we close above and have these clean candles to work with, right? Clean candles, clean moves, even up there, 60 pips, clean moves, 150 pips. Clean candles, price moves very smoothly through these zones. Unless you're trading in that area, today's going to be a day of securing profits. See what these guys are saying. Maybe I should do my phone as well.
Cano with the Mets.
No.
Damn, he
X.
still plays?
A group chat where I text our wordles, give or take every day. Just hop on my phone, maybe just type in plum, one and done. The winner for today. They know I don't even start with that word. They call me out right away. What's Nikki looking at here? Clip, right? You just clip that. That's how people do it. What is this guy looking at? Is this US 30? Is that what this is on futures? I don't know if he usually trades this. So crazy, man. 338 wins. So, you got Nikki here blowing in the palms. Probably a screensaver, but either way, that'll be a sick place to trade. This guy's got the fucking northern lights on like he's trading in the Yukon, in Nunavut. But it's not here rolling a Skolev. Dude, I remember watching this guy roll Skolev and smoke him on screen while trading, just chill as a puke, hanging out. Entering trades, entering pineapples, re-entering the market, just fully with confidence. Got confidence, alright. We get this 30-minute to close below this zone, below this 30-minute to close. We get a top wipe, a break of the low. Your nearest support here, 35 pips, that's great. Next target, 72 pips, so that's an option for us as well. Have to be kind of closing below. Don't have too much for me. Never broke this high, which I would have liked to see. To take something up here. Would like to see this candle break previous candle high and close bearish in order to take kind of an entry up here at the 27.3s to at least retest this. 30-40 pips. So I got 20-25 out of that. Right, but otherwise we're gonna have to wait until it snaps back, here, and then we can kind of target these. And you're gonna assume that with volume, you're trading zone to zone. Again, these minor areas you want to be cautious of, you want to mark out as potential areas of rejection, and use them as maybe areas to go take partials or secure, or at least put your stops to break even. But ultimately you want to hold out if you can. Have a very tough time doing that, holding my positions, holding my trades, especially on gold. And two, you got to think I'm using a 200K funded account. Now I've switched to the percentage, which is about anywhere from 6 to 10 lots. On your funded account, the risk parameters are 10K a day loss, 20K total before they cut you out. Technically, your account is 20K, right? It's not 200K. So I'm trading 1% of 200K, which is essentially almost like 20% of my actual account, my actual risk allowance. I'm trading, if I lose $2,000 on a trade, which is what I have it set up to do. If I lose $2,000 in one trade, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, right? That's 20%. It's a 20% trade. That's obviously not recommended. That's not something I would do with my own money. With $200,000, I would not be willing to lose 20% of my account in one trade, but it's an expedited process. That's what also is challenging about the FTMO accounts, that psychologically even though I'm trading that, right? So just another added layer. Again, here, starting to cool down a little bit, 5 minutes before NYSE. We either hold this area and then break. So we have kind of double topped here, right? Pushed up, rejected, came back down at that bottom and pushed up. Ideally, you would like to see this extension, right? You don't want to see a match or a reject, because now we're probably going to be digging down deeper. That being said, we can bounce here again. We've kind of got on the top or double bottom this area here on 1 minute. But this next portion, if it does respect, we have to break new highs. If we don't, we're coming down further, right? So that's something I like about the 1 minute as well, is if you're not recreating new highs, you can probably assume that we're either going to come back to equal lows or create new lows. We need more to do the job. So I like the extension. It's okay to have some exhaustion, some breathing room here, and have a little bit of that pullback. You expect that on your range of resistance, right? You don't expect every candle to just print new highs and not be losing veins. So it'd be unrealistic for price to do that. But you expect some pullbacks, some supports, and then some continuation, some extension. So you gotta see how it reacts around this minor zone. We need to hold and break. I don't see unless we're closing above. Crazy moves today. Unless you get something late at maybe 7:30. London close, which is at 9 my time. Late moves today. Neutral. I don't know. This area would be a potential target if we can get this closure kind of below here at top wick, break it this low. It's got to move here in the next 2 minutes for that to happen. Got to move. And then inversely, you're looking at maybe this area as a top wick, right? Max up here, top of the 30-minute, right? 50% of that, give or take. 35 pips, so let's go to 15, 17. You're right in here, right? Be perfect area for rejection if we close below. Two minutes till I'm live. See how I'm still looking on live here. Alright, still I'm live. See how I'm still looking on live here. Alright, still I'm live. See how I'm still looking on live here. Alright, still I'm live. See how I'm still looking on live here. Oh wow, that is pretty muffled. That is pretty muffled. What was that? Oh, I think I just didn't have my headphones plugged in. Oh, I think I just didn't have my headphones plugged in. Oh, that's way better. Oh, that's so tough. They were just like a little quarter inch not plugged in all the way. That's too funny. My bad. It was good when I first checked it out, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be just be muffled in general. These headphones are trash. NYSE. So we didn't close below. We have no top wick, meaning rejection flip. I'm not looking for sells. I would then be looking for more support around this area. Totally okay for this to break this low. As long as we close above the next candle, create some support. You can either anticipate that support, catch it at the bottom, wait till it closes in your direction, and continue.
Not bad. Hey, what does this guy do? You find his Instagram, funded gambler. Wait, what? Helping other people get funded?
Fund for a living.
From it can just drive. So for now, that's what's happening. Possible rejection at this area, like we've seen before, right? If we go historically, we've seen. Look at this wick right here. This is where the rejection came down. So you might get that same area, right, and pull back up. But there's no edge in any of that. Well, no edge for me in any of that. You can attempt buys, you can attempt sells, but there's no edge for me there. Just knowing what I know, I wouldn't. Or understanding, you know, volume, understanding direction, I just wouldn't be there. 50-50 play.
50 play, right? We can't do that. Even some of our probabilities that are 80-90% success rate don't work out, right? So if you have something that's kind of a 50-50, a toss up, it's rejected here in the past. I don't know. You know, I understand trading is a game of anticipation, but you're also using your edge, right? That's how you come up with that idea in the first place, is you have an edge, you have back tested, you have historical data to prove, hey, this works. Let's use our edge, now anticipate this is going to happen based on history. I realized I had my mic up and I was drinking water. I was chatting at the same time. We're pulling back a little deeper. If we continue to close above here and do not close below on that 15 or on that 5 minute, you can look for entries down here, anticipating that flip and drive. Again, going to be securing positions early because we are attempting to break out of the zone with not a lot of room to go here, a 50 pip from top to bottom, but I know you're not getting those entries down here, right? So here we have it, that flip. That's the anticipation. Failed to close below. Like I said, it was okay to break these lows, come back and reject. So now if we can come back down, let's extend this further for you guys. If we can come back into here, boom, look for entries somewhere here with the anticipation and understanding that we need to be breaking highs as well. So securing somewhere around there, letting something run. I got caught up on a trade like this the other day where the previous candle was printing bearish, but it closed above support. So I might just wait. You can always take better trades above that previous 5 with stops below. Obviously, this would be your best. I just need a candle at least printing in my direction here. So that's what I'm going to wait for. At least the 1 minute, I'd be fine. Break that high, I'm going to be in. With the spread, with the push. There we are. We need to break these highs. Otherwise, we can still flip and continue down on the 5 minute. I hate that. There was a little bit of volume. I hate that I had 3 pips in spread, but that's part of the game. Early. I am entering right next to a bearish candle, which is great, but we haven't actually closed bullish, right? Here's that anticipation, 17 pips. The top there, that's where I'm going to be securing some if we get there. Day 3, trading the account. We need to close above this zone. We need to close above there. So this needs to really start pushing. Minute closes in 30 seconds or 10 seconds. This one needs to break the high and go. Part here, you break this again. We're early. We didn't have that 15-minute printing in our direction, so 12 minutes this can still close bearish, right? That's the problem with entering early like this. Now you're expecting the support to hold, right? You got a deeper pullback. You need that to break. Needs to flip. Needs to flip bullish. Was really looking for my entry a little bit down here, about 8 pips lower. Don't love this 5-minute. We don't print bullish on this 5-minute. I might look at managing some risk, waiting for that 15 fully to close. Bottom wick. Now we got to be breaking these highs. These next 2 minutes need to drive. Need to break these highs here. Again, to reiterate, if anybody's in this trade with me, ideally would have liked your entry a little lower with the spread and with the volume. Got a little slipped. Targeting these equal highs here. Anticipating an extension. We need to continue breaking these. This 15-minute needs to close bullish. Like to see a little bit more volume here post NYSE, but we've created that support. This 5-minute candle needs to confirm that support by closing bullish, staying above. And the next candle, then you can anticipate that full drive, that full pop up. If we flip and break these lows, probably going to manage some risk. Kind of struggling. Let's see. Close half if we start to break those lows. Two more minutes for this 15 to close. Two more minutes. We're at break even right now. If you guys don't like the trade, this is where you close half. This is where you start to manage risk, mitigate your position a little bit. Two more minutes if this can hold. We got one more minute. Close bullish. We'd be closing above this. There's no reason for that next candle to pop, fill that whole wick. You have a 15 printing your direction, looking like a retest play. Again, we just got to be careful of this top zone. There's not a lot of room to trade here. And I got a 6, 7, 8 pip. 8 pip, worse entry than anticipated. So that 1 minute didn't close above. One more minute. Click to secure today. If we do break through, next target, let's call it the 2710s. So 15 close, we have that confirmation. So we have this candle saying, hey, we're not going down. We're going to start potentially be going up. We do have a candle that closed bullish. That's the confirmation. Now, if we break these highs, we should fully reach the top. Yeah, I would have definitely rather picked a position down there. We have to break this 1 minute here right away. You have this candle, first 1 minute, grab liquidity, wick down, need to break. Not loving it. We're stalling, eh? That's the thing about the trade. They may not work out right away. Obviously, the longer you're in it, especially as a scalper, if you're in the position, it's not going your one way, it's got to move another, right? So if it's not moving up, it's got to move down. Have my finger on the close half button here if we don't start to push. Also, as you can see, that 15-minute closed right next to the other one. Like there's not a lot of room. We can easily reject here. So that's why I'm kind of finger on the trigger here. There we go. We're starting to get our pop. Got to be quick to close. I'm wicks back down. That's fine. Again, not a lot of room to trade. So I'm going to be taking my positions here. I'd rather get stopped out at break even than be caught here at the top trying to buy. Yeah, that's okay. What did I lose? Got slipped a pip and a half. 112 bucks. It's okay. Don't love that. Didn't have the best entry. We understood today that you might not be, excuse me, getting these crazy pushes. I knew that this was an area of rejection. We tried it. We saw what, 8, 10 pips. 10 pips less spread, 9 pips maybe. I wasn't willing to, like this wasn't a full closure above. We had that harsh rejection. So I knew that once we popped, we tapped that resistance. Just not an optimal setup. There wasn't a lot of room. Doesn't mean this can't still play out. Doesn't mean, in the next couple minutes this won't drive, especially now you got another bullish candle. I just don't love this range. I didn't get my entries on this 1 minute line. I got it up at the top here. So that's okay. We saved the bullets for a better setup, another trade. You know what? Honestly, I'm loving that break even. No problem. Had I got in down here and saw, 20 pips, like that's the difference. That's the difference right there is that 8 pip, that 3-4 pip spread with the 4 pip. By the time I enter that trade, I wanted the break of this high. That's 7-8 pips. That's the difference between taking your profits and being in the position where I am now. Break even. Luckily, I got out at break even because I recognized where we were at in the zone. There was no reason once you got this push, come back down to break those lows. We had that 5-minute, right? So that's a great example of understanding structure, understanding where we're at, and how we moved the prior couple of days as well. So there's got to be that the exhaustion, the pullback, etc. in the markets. We just push so many pips every session. Early Asian push, then a huge pullback. Late Asian, early London push, continued support. New York drove down, found support. Now we're NYSE. They want a better price too. There it goes. There it is. So that's your area where you would have secured. Ended up working out in the end. You had this 5-minute after touching, close bearish. Not something you necessarily wanted to see here. Appreciate that it respected the lows. I just again wasn't willing to hold out on that. So that's okay. Would have worked out. Would have been at about 20 pips, 23 pips less spread. So good 20 pips. Would have for sure secured there. I just wanted that to happen a few minutes early. So we're going to see how this reacts around the top. If we can close above, we can look for those continuation buys up to these areas. Ugh. 983, that's great. It's looking like this 4-hour might close pretty strong bullish as well. Also a lesson, when you have a setup, it's so tough between mitigating your risk, using proper risk management, closing half. I could have potentially closed half there. And ultimately just believing in your setup, right? This is a prime example where it just took a little longer than I thought to play out. I also understand where we were at. Like there was just so many variables that we took into play. The small zone trading kind of at the top of the zone. The 15s closing right beside each other. This is obviously a great candle for our direction. Break previous low, close in the direction we want, continuation, that's great. Could have very well rejected at these highs. I've seen that many times as well. So that was how I analyzed the market. You can see how I called the snapbacks above and then start to respect this area here. And that's where I put my stop loss. So I ended up getting in, above here. Stops over here, just wasn't willing after this kind of 15 pip push. I would have liked to see that next candle do exactly what it did here. So a couple minutes, had I held out, I would have had that successful trade. But I still have another bullet for today. So that's okay, right? That's part of the game. Part of the game is part of believing in your setup. And that's what I struggle with. I mentioned this yesterday, is putting my stops at break even too soon. That's kind of a prime example, maybe prime loosely, because there were other factors I took into consideration there, being at where we were located on the zone. Why is the zone so massive? So I'm okay if we get this closure above in 5 minutes. Boom. Now, now we can respect this next zone. I can look for more continuation buys up to 2710. Beautiful pop though. See how when I was mentioning this trade with the 1 minute is we came up, made that high, came back down, tested that high, we grabbed the liquidity, and now we're expecting that extension, that continuation. Had we came just down here and flipped, right? You didn't get that third extension. That's also why I was so fast to go break even. Why, after coming down, retesting here, retesting again, breaking above, did we not continue? Right? Why did we have to close bearish, have that exhaustion? Because it is an area of rejection, right? Game of probabilities just so happened to work out well this time. And just so happened that I mitigated my risk early, something I should have done on a couple of these other trades back over here. These ones didn't execute that risk. I would have been a lot happier taking this break even trade minus $100 than these $3 grand trades here. So it set me back. All right, so beautiful. Beautiful 50 pips. I'm glad I can call that, right? I'm glad we can look into that for you. Obviously, something that, not that I have any viewers here today, or I don't know if Side Hustle Group's still around, probably because my mic was all messed up for him. So I would have left too, but he'll be able to watch this back and I'll clip it for him. I like this continuation as well, right? If we're going to close above here, I like the second bullet. We've already made the structure on the 1 minute that I can use. Closing in another minute. Let's see what some of the other boys and traders are looking at here.
Yeah. Don't even think about it, bro. No sweat. You're only cracking the record for most hits ever. You're good.
Man hit
Stay
a homer.
composed. Man hit a home run. Come on. Come on. Come on. Does it get any more Derek Jeter than that?
Yeah, walk off base hit last game of the
Yeah,
year.
last game,
Last
last
game of
at
his
bat
life.
ever. My guy hits a walk-off base hit. Come on.
Okay, looking like a beautiful closure above. If we can get this bottom wick, so we can pull back a little bit, leave us more of a wick to fill, have a better entry. It's already 7-8 pips on the wick fill. I would look for entries around this 2704 area. We have that pullback continuation, and now we have that extension. So let's look for that. Let's see if we can get this pullback. Come on, pull back. Trade would have been a pretty good banger. That's something to take into consideration. You know, you review every trade, you review every setup. Prime example of a entries, maybe having that buy stop probably would have got slipped a little bit as well. And just believing in your analysis, you know, holding your position, holding till your targets. 25, 26 pip target. Here we are going higher. So I need a bottom wick though. I'm not entering on this. It's a brand new 4-hour candle. Love where my 4-hour zone is either, to be honest with you. I could almost rather it be here. I feel like I'm gonna get duped into have this resistance. Come support and continuation, yeah. Give me that bottom wick. If we can make support around here, give me a 1 minute, something like this. Breaking the previous low, showing a little bit of direction. But I don't want to enter here and just hold those 10 pip stops. I want something a little deeper.
You don't even want to hit that thing by mistake. Oh,
Yo,
wait.
Nikki, wait.
Yeah, sip.
Don't sell it.
Hey, simple. It's all good, man. Keep your head up, dude. One losing trade doesn't mean you're a loser. I've taken plenty of losses in my life, and I will take more. So yeah, don't let it get to your head. Losses only phase you if you let them. Like if you
Wow. Regardless of how frustrating it is, this is my second day this week calling out trades that worked out perfectly, trying to execute on a trade that I went to break even on that would have been an absolute banger of a trade, something that immediately pushed to something where you're at 80, 90 pips, 100 pips. It's frustrating to see. Obviously, I'm not a robot. I have emotions. It's trying to understand that this 100 pip moves happens every session, sometimes multiple times a session. It's going to be here tomorrow. It's going to be here next week. And as long as I can sit on my hands and wait for something like this to present itself again, then I'm going to be okay, right? There's always tomorrow. There's always another trade. I remember back in the day watching, big NFPs or big news releases happen, and in a session, gold fall 500 pips, and me not catch a single pip or me take a loss on that move. That just looked so blatantly easy to catch. And, I used to get a little upset, like, hey, like, why didn't I catch a piece of that? Someone else did. How did I take a loss? This, that, and the other, or just upset in general that I missed that move. Man, in the last 3 years, I've seen that same 500 pip drop 50 times, right? It happens time and time and again, especially right now. You got Donald Trump in office coming January. War times, like there's so much around the world that affects gold. There's going to be lots of volume. There's always lots of volume. We have periods of consolidation just like any pair, a lot less than every other pair. That just means the harder the breakout. So it's too bad we didn't get anything lower here. We're bullish for the session. Again, I would almost need something like this again, a bearish candle, one to break previous low, point in our direction, and I can try and take entries again off that 1 minute. Notice how we were a little early and a little late at the same time. We were early in the sense that we were anticipating, given this major push down and closure above, and respect these intra-session zones here, this structure. So we anticipated the flip. We ended up getting in up here. This candle printed in our direction. Bottom wick, missed that entry. Just because this candle was bearish doesn't mean that our 15 didn't close. Like everything looks perfect, right? You have this, you wait for this 15-minute candle to close. You have this bottom wick of 12 pips. Stops are below that. Your entry's there. Boom, and drive, right? It's the other thing about the 1 minute. Up and down, breaks highs and lows. You got to really understand the full picture here. We didn't break that low that we created on the 15. It is just different, right? I'm live streaming. I don't normally trade for all to see, right? Not that I have any viewers, not that I have a big audience at the moment. But just putting myself out there, holding myself accountable, making quality trades, managing my risk appropriately. That all plays a factor. I'll probably end the stream. I'm still going to keep an eye out on the charts here for some potential positions. I would need some form of support to be created here. So some decent pullbacks. Sure, we can close above here and target that 27.16, right? That next daily zone. Very reasonable. I talked about that at the beginning of the session. But I will need a pullback, some support to be formed, meaning a bearish candle to print, and then a bullish one in my direction. So for now, we are living to see tomorrow. More than likely it for me. Appreciate you guys hopping on today. I will be back. I'll try and make some more posts for the Instagram, just to let people know I do live stream. What time I'm going to be live streaming at. All depends on the day or the night prior. But that's it for me. Is Nick hopping off here as well?
I don't know who said it, but there was a quote Earl Nightingale.
Looks nine. What is that? That's it for me. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.